name may sound familiar, Giants fans. We talked about him in the father-son episode there.
Mm.
And that's Jeremiah was a Bullfrog Trotter Jr. out of Clemson. He was a good friend of mine. Anyway, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out of Clemson, 6 foot even, 230 pounds. Again, just 21 years old. There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of good young talent in this group here. Back in 22, 14 games, 89 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, including 1 for a touchdown, 5 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble. This past season, 12 games. Let me reemphasize that. 12 games compared to 14 the previous year, because the numbers are very similar, guys. 2 less games. 88 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, again, 1 for a touchdown, 5 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles, and an 85.7 PFF grade. This guy, to me, I just don't think he gets enough credit. I think people just assume he gets too much credit because of who his dad is. Obviously, his dad was a hell of a player in his day. I hate to say it as a Giant fan because the guy was Eagle Hall of Famer, obviously. But his dad was one hell of a player for many years. He has that same type of potential. But he's not by any means a finished product. He's another guy that you could see starting potentially, but probably really is better off. And I think even more than a guy we talked about with, Junior Colson, even more important, I think he should sit for 1 year just to kind of fine tune his game there, so to speak. But I think he's going to be I think he'll be a hell of a player this league. Kind of like his dad. Not a Hall of Famer, not a Pro Bowler, not that kind of level guy. But he'd be in the Hall of Very Good. Like that kind of player, I think he'll end up being, As far as his snaps and where he gets lined up there, 40 at the line, 28 in the slot, 1 a corner, 619 in the box, and 1 deep. His pros, downfield speed, blitzes, good tackler, great in zone coverage with a high football IQ there. Again, it's in the genes there. It's in the genes. As far as the cons, trouble getting off the blocks. Now, also trouble in man. Overruns plays, can be beaten to the outside. And this is where you get into the physical stuff. Trouble getting off blocks. You're just barely 230 pounds.
Yeah.
You're 6 foot even. Whenever we have trouble in man coverage, especially at a jump ball, you're giving up height there. Can't, all these things that you see can be beaten to the outside. It's a physical limitation. He's not the fastest guy in the world. This is a guy that has to be put, I think, in the right spot. As a situational blitzer kind of guy that's going to go ahead and play linebacker on a regular basis. And again, be that old school kind of linebacker that just sits there and goes after the running back. And you can put him again in the smaller, picture as far as a zone coverage guy against the flat routes and the hook routes and stuff like that. But don't expect him to cover someone deep because he's going to get burned. So
correct.
But
which is why he did it once.
Yeah. And you put him in the right spot, though, he could be a hell of a player. He really could. He would be a hell of a player.
Yeah, get him on some box jumps and some beefcake. 5,000.
Beefcake. Black.
Wait a minute. We're selling protein and car insurance?
Yes, exactly at once. Oh, yes.
Amazing. Geico.
Amazing.
What do you think about that?
Sim
Gecko.
The band Aerosmith involved in this now. Blink of an eye, you finally see the light. All right.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.